So this is just for an example. So I'm making up the numbers. So hypothetically, the U.S. exports, these are in billions. So if the U.S. exports $500 billion worth of goods to Canada, and then we import $550 worth of goods, to figure out what the trade balance is, if you don't already know how to do this, it's going to be exports minus imports. So you might want to, remember this. You're going to have to look it up because you're going to have to do a worksheet on this. So it would be 500 minus 550. So the trade balance is negative 50. Put a little equal sign here. So that would be a trade deficit. So whenever you have a negative, that's a deficit. So now I use one for Mexico. Say hypothetically, we export $400 billion worth of goods to Mexico, but we import 500. So remember, 400 minus 500. Pretty basic math here. So we have a trade deficit with Mexico. And these are numbers I'm just making up. These aren't actual amounts. So we have a deficit. So I'm gonna skip Japan because we have a deficit with Japan anyway. So I'll go to the Netherlands. So using the Netherlands, let's say hypothetically, we export $100 billion worth of goods to the Netherlands. We really don't import that much from them. Let's say we import $30 billion worth of goods from the Netherlands. So that's going to be 100 minus 30. So that's a positive number, so this would be a surplus. So we've got a surplus on that one. And then the way overall trade is figured out, like when you look at the number, whether our overall trade balance between the U.S. and the rest of the world, the way we would figure it out is we'd add up all these numbers. We'd add all the numbers from all the countries. Obviously, we don't have all the countries here, but we would just add these up. So negative 50 plus a negative 100 is a negative 150. So then we have our 70. So we've got 70 plus minus sign 150. So with these three countries, we have a trade deficit of minus 80, negative 80. That's with all three of these numbers added up. So remember, it's basic math. So you're going to have to do one of these. The numbers are already filled in. It's worth 24 points. You've got 3 questions on the bottom. Which country does the U.S. have the largest trade deficit? And your deficits are going to be the ones with the negative numbers. Which country do we have the largest trade surplus with? Those are the positive numbers. And then overall, does the U.S. have a surplus or a deficit? So that's where I did this one by adding up these three countries. So on this scenario, we have a trade deficit. What you're going to do is stop this.